This is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Scoop News, covering the fire fee. Now, this is the Venice one, not the Sarasota County one. Sarasota County has one. They're looking at increasing it. Venice does not have one. They're looking at implementing it. They had their meeting yesterday. A lot of people showed up. About 19 people spoke, and they basically said the same thing that just about every 100 or more emails said, and that's, we don't want it. It's too expensive. Are you crazy? What resonated from all of them, basically, and from one city councilwoman, Deb Anderson, who had the kahunas to speak up, is that the government that's in there, and I primarily look at McKeon, Daniels, and Hollick. They've been all in there over 6 years. They've known this. They've seen that the buildings have been depreciating. They've known about this issue with the fire department, the police department, and everything, and they've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. And instead, as Deb Anderson, Councilwoman Anderson said, they spent money on special interest. You know, just the decision to put a parking lot out south of Sharkey's to alleviate parking downtown. That was the whole premise behind it. $400,000. Couldn't we have used that money? Isn't our fire department more important than that parking lot? The trolley. What was that? $150,000, $160,000. Couldn't we have used that? Isn't the fire department more important than the trolley? And Deb Anderson, she's just finishing up a 3-year term. She's not running again. I know Deb. She said she basically is throwing her hands up in the air. She said it's controlled by, you know, goofballs like Hollick and that, and they're getting nowhere. And so she noticed one thing that I noticed when last year, it's funny, everyone's like, oh, you ran for mayor, lost. I ran to make a point. If I wanted to win and get in there, I would have taken one of the open city council seats that weren't even challenged, and I would have been a council member. I ran to make a point that you got to challenge these guys and not let them run alone. One thing that resonated in my head was after Hollick won his second term, he said, oh, that means that everybody's on board with my plans and what I want to do and how I'm shaping Venice, which was turning it into his little utopia of condos. He wants to tear down the, what is that, over there on where all the warehouses are on the west side of the bridge. God, I can't think, and I used to live there above Ted's Printing. But he basically wants to make that area a Riverwalk. He was quoted saying it in the paper. Then he denied it. He has a tendency to say stuff. It's documented in a paper and video and email, and then deny it. And he has that, oh gosh, shucks look, and people buy it. It's unfortunate. And the reason I challenged him was to make him come out and say stuff and to make him fight for that position. And people, it's so funny when I hear people say, oh, you ran for mayor, didn't get it. It's like, are you that stupid? You didn't see what was going on? I mean, I made it pretty clear. I said it to everyone. All right, so it amazes me, some of the trolls out there. So what they decided to do is not listen to the people and keep the focus on the fire fee. Instead of going all out, though, they're going to alter it and lower it a little bit. But they're also not going to decrease the property tax increase that we just saw. What very people know is, because they don't listen to anything I put out or read what I put out, when Hollick was pushing for that property tax increase, at the same time he was sending emails out pushing for the fire fee. That property tax was to handle the same thing the fire fee was to handle. And I tried showing people how he was being duplipious, I can't even say it, and nobody listened. Nobody saw it. He just did the, oh, shucks, Frank's lying thing. So we brought it all on ourselves, guys. Unless you're going to take action, stand up and have your voice be heard, stuff like this is going to continue. And that's why Venice is in the rut we're in now. That's why we're seeing an increase in the fire fee, because they blew off all this stuff and they didn't do what we sent them there to do. They felt it was more important for special interest versus taking care of the fire department, which we need. It's a necessity in the city. The next hearing is going to be September 7th at 10 a.m. at the Venice City Hall. You can watch it streaming live. You can go down and give your opinion, but as you see, it doesn't always work. Well, maybe it worked some because now they're thinking about lowering it, but I got to tell you, the way they're looking at lowering that fee and what they're doing with the property tax, I think it might actually be more than the initial proposal. But we'll see. The only one that was hesitant to push for it would be let's see, it would be Cotero. Gates had some concerns, surprisingly. Anderson and Phrase did. Phrase seemed like he wanted it. McKeon seemed like he wanted it. Hollick seemed like he wanted it. Daniels wanted it. So that's 4-3 right there, folks, and you're going to get it. So unless something drastically happens, it's going to be a fight, and you're going to see another increase. We've had several. We had 2 bonds, which increases your taxes. We had the property values increase your taxes. We had the property tax increase that they just did. We've had 2 waste management increases, and now you're going to get this increase all within 1 year. Isn't that lovely? So that they can spend money on other special interests as their own person, their own peer, Councilwoman Anderson stated they are doing. This has been Frank Abbruzzino with the Scoop News.